Hello and thank you for joining me. This lesson is entitled Kccw. Now Kccw is an acronym. It is an abbreviation that's formed by the initial letters of some other words. Another example of an acronym is IACTDL. So that is IACTDL. And this was developed by Dr. John Penn, a longtime instructor at the Missionary Baptist Seminary in Little Rock, Arkansas. And so IACTDL illustrates the beginning and the progress of religious error. So I represents an idea which comes about, involves usually some crisis or problem or issue that needs to be solved, and the solution, at least what is thought to be the solution, involves some form of compromise on Bible teaching. So an idea becomes an action, that's the A. So an action then becomes a custom. So you do something one or two times and maybe a few more times, and all of a sudden you have a custom going on. And so a custom becomes a tradition, that's the T. And then a tradition becomes a doctrine. So it becomes something that, again, talking about religious error, it becomes something that people or a church or denomination finds itself teaching. And then finally a doctrine, the D, becomes a law, that is the L. So I think that's a pretty good process to follow there, and following the beginning and the progress of religious error. So Kccw is an acronym for some things a former pastor taught, a man by the name of Dr. Dwayne Hopper. So Dr. Hopper is with the Lord now, but his legacy of Bible teaching continues through those that he taught, myself being one of them. So Dr. Hopper taught Kccw, and I'm keeping you in a little suspense here. I'll explain the acronym in just a moment if you've not already seen it on the thumbnail for the video. But Dr. Hopper taught Kccw in connection with the challenges of life that we as God's children sometimes face, the challenges to our faith. So I recall him teaching using this acronym, this teaching, when he taught, for example, in James chapter 1, verses 2 and 3, when James said to his readers, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience." Okay, so here is the acronym fleshed out, if you will. K stands for or equals God knows. K. God knows. He knows when we're going through challenging circumstances. He knows when we're discouraged. He knows when we're frustrated. God never lacks information. He is never surprised by events. Whatever problem you or I have as one of his children, he knew about this before it happened. And in fact, he had to say this can happen. So K stands for God knows. Then we have the first C, God cares. The old song asks that question, does Jesus care? And we know the wonderful refrain, oh yes, he cares. I know he cares. His heart is touched with my grief. God is never a disinterested onlooker where his children are concerned. In fact, he's never a disinterested onlooker, period. The second C, so we've got K, God knows. The first C, God cares. And then the second C, he can, God can. What's that mean? He can change my circumstances. He can not only change things radically, but he can change things rapidly. I cannot have a problem. You cannot have a problem or a need that is too great for him. And then the W stands for, so God knows, He cares, He can. The W stands for He will. He will change my difficult circumstances or take away my problem when this is for His glory and for my good. So the truths that KCCW represents can, if we apply them, stabilize us, ground us in the midst of difficulties, and help us to even profit from the trials of our faith. So I hope these things that I've passed on to you, I hope you find these helpful and that you can take them and use them in your own life, in your own trials and challenges of faith. So thank you, as always, thank you for joining me. And if you like the content of this video, feel free to hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel, appreciate if you do that. That would help me out. Feel free to share these videos with others. So until we meet again on video, thank you for joining me, and you have a wonderful day. Thank you.